Kansa sends Akrura after the killing of Aristasur. Devarshi Narada visited Kansa and asked, "O Kansa, the girl who had slipped from your hand was in fact the daughter of Yashoda. Krishna and Balram, who are staying in Vrindavana, are in fact the sons of Devaki and Rohini respectively. Because of your fear, Vasudev has kept them under the supervision of his friend Nand. Those two boys have killed the demons sent by you." Hearing these words, Kansa shook with anger and put Vasudev and Devaki in prison again. Thereafter he called his minister Akrura and asked him to set out at once for Gokul. He said to Akrura, "Akruraji, you are an old friend and well-wisher of mine. Go to Gokul and bring the sons of Vasudev, who are staying at Nand's home. Invite them to visit Mathura, to witness the festivities of Dhanushyaga." Akrura understood Kansa's intentions, but feared that if he refused, that demon would kill him. So he decided to visit Gokul, and also have the opportunity of seeing God. He was feeling overwhelmed by the mere thought of it. Next day, he set out on a grand chariot to meet his Supreme Lord in Gokul. Meditating in the feet of Lord, Akrura was heading towards Vrindavana. He was feeling himself as the most fortunate one, for he was sure to have a sight of Lord. Thus obsessed with many kinds of devotional feelings, Akrura alighted from the chariot at the border of Vrindavana and started walking. He found it unjust to ride a chariot on the land of Vrindavana where Lord Krishna treaded. By the time he reached Vrindavana, Lord Krishna and Balram had returned home after grazing their cattle. Seeing them, Akrura fell at their feet. Both the brothers raised Akrura and addressed him as Chacha, uncle, and escorted him into the house. Akrura was given a warm welcome and treatment there. After the dinner, they assembled in Nand's drawing room. Nand inquired about the reason of his sudden arrival. Akrura said, "Kansa is organizing a wrestling competition in Mathura. He has invited all the big and small kings to the competitions. He has invited you with Krishna and Balram as well. Beautiful Mathura is worth seeing." Gullible Nand felt pleased by Akrura's talking and said, "King Kansa has shown a great honor to me. He has sent invitation only to other kings, but has sent his minister to call me and a golden chariot for my kids." So it was announced in Gokul that all the people would go to Mathura the next day and witness the festivities there. Departure of Krishna and Balram for Mathura. When the gopis heard about Krishna leaving Gokul to visit Mathura, they began to wail and cry. They were getting so much restless by the news that they felt their lives would end before the Sunri say. They started imprecating fate that it had no kindness. First it provided them with a closer contact with their beloved Kanha. Now it was causing a long separation from him. Some of gopis even begged for death. They felt it better than living without Kanha. All the gopis kept on crying and wailing night long. Mother Yashoda awoke early in the morning next day. She churned out butter and adding misri, sugar candies. She took it to Krishna to feed him. But there she found that both Krishna and Balram were getting ready to set out for Mathura. They held mother's feet and said, "Pardon us, O mother, we are going to Mathura." These words disturbed Yashoda. She ran and fell at Akrura's feet and said, "I am your slave. O Akrura, please do not take my beloved sons to Mathura. They are inseparable from my heart. Why Kansa has summoned them to Mathura? O Akrura, go and tell him to take everything from us, but spare our sons. We are also ready to live in jail, but can't lose our beloved sons. Akrura consoled Yashoda. Babri, sister-in-law, don't worry. These two brothers are going to Mathura to witness the festivities there and will return soon to comfort your heart. Yashoda said, Akruraji, Mathura is a town of gold and both of my sons are too young yet to be needed there for any reason. Touching the feet of Nand and Yashoda, both the brothers said, Father, Mother, we will definitely return. Presently we wish to see the grandeur of Mathura. Meanwhile all the gopis and gopas had gathered there. Crying and wailing, the gopis said, You are very cruel, O Akrura, who named you as Akrura. You have come here to lacerate our hearts. Second gopi said, No friend, it is not a fault of Akrura. Our complaints are with Shyam Sundar. We left everything, our husbands, children, our homes and dedicated our entire selves in your service. And now you are deserting us so ruthlessly. We have no support for our life except you, O Madhusudan. Saying this, all the gopis burst into tears again. All the gopas, including Sridama, surrounded the chariot and said, O Krishna, we had not even dreamt that you would desert us so ruthlessly. O Kanhaiya, we have seen with our eyes that even Indra, Varuna, Sankadi and Brahma bow before you. But we have never regarded you as God. We regarded you as our friend. Are you angry with us? O my childhood friend Kanhaiya, we request you, we will never abuse you in future. If you were intending to go, why did you then save us from the infernal forest fire? Why did you save from the deluging rains? We cannot live without you. Tell us, O benevolent friend, when will you return? Lord Krishna consoled them all and took many of them with him. The chariot began to move. As long as the flag of the chariot remained visible, people kept on crying and wailing. Even the eyes of Akrura filled with tears. Lord asked him, Kaka, why are you weeping? Akrura replied, O Lord, Kansa is the great sinner. I feel he will try to torment you by all means. So, my heart says, that I should take you back to Vrindavana, because if Kansa did any harm to you, their spirits will curse me forever. Akrura has a sight of Lord in four-armed form. Hearing Akrura's words, Lord understood that when he had arrived in Vraj, he was afflicted with a feeling of majesty. But now, it has been replaced by affection now. He therefore decided to remove his dilemma. Thus, Lord said to him, Kaka, Mathura is still some distance away. So you take a bath in Yamuna. We brothers are waiting for you in the chariot. As soon as Akrura took a dip in Yamuna, Lord showed him a sight of his abode Vaikunth and his Narayana's appearance, in which he was holding conch, wheel, make and lotus in each of his four hands and was lying on the bed of Sheshnaga. With folded hands, Akrura prayed to Lord, O Lord, you are the reason for the existence of Brahma and the universe. O Lord, I pray at your feet again and again. Now I recognize you. You are the one who took the incarnations of Matsya, Kachchap, Varah, Narsingha, Vaman, Rama etc. Thus after bath and worship, Akrura returned to the chariot. Lord Krishna understood that now a devotional feeling had arisen in the mind of Akrura for Narayana. Lord asked, Your condition seems miserable. Did you see anything extraordinary underwater? Akrura said, O Lord, now bestow your grace on me. Kindly come to my home and accept my hospitality. Arrival in Mathura and grace on Kubja. After the departure of Akrura, Nand Baba too set out for Mathura along with the Gopas. On the way itself, they caught up with Krishna and Balram. All of them then reached Mathura together. There they stayed in a garden. After some time, with none's permission, both the brothers set out to see the city of Mathura. Mathura was indeed a beautiful town. All the residents of Mathura thronged on roads, roofs and attics to have a sight of Krishna and Balram. On the way, they met a pretty but hunched woman. She introduced herself as Kubja, the maid of Kansa. Her duty was to smear the members of the royal family with sandalwood paste. God asked her if she would smear him with sandal paste. Kubja said, "O Manmohan, I see no one more fitting than you for the sandal paste." Thus she smeared Lord Krishna's forehead with saffron. On Do's forehead she smeared musk containing sandal paste. Other Gopas smeared all the remaining sandal paste on their heads. Lord Krishna then put his feet on Kubja's and holding her chin gave her head a slight jerk. And in no time, Kubja's hunch was gone and she turned into a pretty woman. She begged Lord for his love. The Lord promised her a meeting in future, and proceeded ahead. Breaking off the bow and killing elephant after saving Kubja, Lord Krishna and other Gopas moved ahead. At a place they saw a huge bow kept on a high stage. Many strong men were guarding it. Lord Krishna entered the canopy and easily lifted the bow and broke it into pieces. There was a big applause from all around. Do said, "Krishna, now the crowd will increase here, so let us escape in time." Thus, both the brothers and their friends beat a retreat to their camp. There they rested for night. There in Mathura, breaking off the bow had frightened Kansa. He could not sleep during the night. Even in his dreams, he saw nothing but Krishna everywhere around him. Early in the morning, Kansa summoned his minister and ordered him to make Kuvalyapid, the elephant, to stand in the center of the main gate. He thought that the elephant would kill both the boys if they dared to enter the fort through main gate. Back there in the garden, Krishna and Balram set out in wrestlers' guise for the fort. At the gate, seeing an elephant blocking the passage, they asked Mahut loudly, "O Mahut, why have you made the elephant stand in the center of the gate? Move it either ahead or back." But instead of moving the elephant out of the passage, the Mahut stared it right on them. But before elephant could attack them, Balram caught its trunk, while Krishna caught its tail. Both the brothers then dragged the elephant out of the gate and lofted it in the air. The elephant fell on the ground with a loud thud and died on the spot. Salvation of wrestlers. Kansa felt very nervous by the news of elephant's killing. Before he could take stock of the situation, Lord Krishna and Balram arrived in the amphitheater. The spectators present in the amphitheater saw Lord as per their feelings. The menfolk saw Lord Krishna as a jewel among the men. Womenfolk saw him as an incarnation of Kamdev. Cowherds saw their natural friend in Lord, while to Kansa he appeared as his death. But to his mother and father, Devki and Vasudev, and to none, Krishna and Balram appeared as small kids. Sages and ascetics saw nothing but metaphysical coming in boys' guise. Learned ones cited his cosmic form, while to Yadvas he appeared as their tutelary god. As soon as Lord Krishna and Balram arrived in the ring, the wrestlers, who were already present there, stood up like springs. A wrestler Chanu dragged Krishna and one named Mushtik dragged Balram into the ring. They said to them, "Both of you and we are the subjects of the great king Kansa. It is our duty to please our king with our art and skill. Moreover, we will receive many rewards also." Krishna said, "O wrestlers, you please fight among yourselves. We are boys yet, so we shall witness your fight from a distance." Chanur said, "No, you are neither boy nor teenagers. You are stronger than the strongest. You have just killed an elephant which was stronger than 1,000 elephants. Thus, both the brothers were compelled to wrestle with the royal wrestlers. Balram beat Mushtik on the ground so hard that he died at once on the spot. Krishna similarly killed second wrestler Chanur. All the remaining wrestlers met similar fate one by one. The massive crowd present there applauded them joyfully. Salvation of Kansa. Seeing the shameful defeat of his wrestlers, Kansa infuriated with anger and proclaimed, "Tie all the opponents, tie Ugrasen, Devki, Vasudev and Nand in ropes and bring them before me." Lord Krishna could not tolerate this, and in a single jump, he reached on the stage where Kansa was present. Lord Krishna caught him by hair and said, "O Kansa, once you have caught a helpless woman by hair, I have avenged that insult. Now you will receive the fruits for your atrocities." Saying this, Lord began to twirl Kansa, catching him by hair, and threw him down from the stage. Then Lord jumped once again and landed on the chest of Kansa. Kansa died instantaneously. Thus, Kansa, who was an incarnation of the demon Kalnemi, received salvation. Lord Krishna then released his parents from the prison and crowned his maternal grandfather Ugrasen as the king of Mathura. Yajnapaveet of Krishna and Balram. After the successful completion of all the royal ceremonies, the consecration of Krishna and Balram was carried out. Thereafter, they came to stay at the hermitage of sage Sandipani for formal education. Extraordinarily brilliant Krishna successfully learned all the knowledge in short period of time. Then, as Guru Dakshina, paying respect to the teacher, Krishna brought back his dead sons from the abode of Yamraj, taking convocation bath. Thereafter, Lord Krishna returned to Mathura. There, though living among royal luxuries and grandeur, Lord Krishna remained indifferent. Memory of his sentimental, beloved devotees, friend and other people of Vraj kept on pricking him. Sending Uddhava as messenger servant. Uddhava, the son of Yadva's minister Brihaspati, was an intimate friend of Lord Krishna. Only he had the permission to enter Lord's sanctum. Seeing his friend Krishna in remorse, Uddhava asked, "Mathunath, you seem to be upset. What is troubling you?" Lord Krishna replied, "Uddhava, I feel perplexed. I remember my days in Vrindavana. Please go to Vrindavana and get the news regarding gopis there. Also give them my message." Thus Lord Krishna donned Uddhava in his attire and sent him to Vraj in his chariot. There he stayed at Nand's home. At night, Uddhava inquired about Nand and Yashoda's well-being and about Vraj in general. That whole night passed in chatting. Brahma Geet. Next day, when the gopis got the news of Uddhava's arrival, they thronged in and around Nand's residence. They recognized the chariot parked in front of the gate. It was the same chariot on which Krishna and Balram had departed for Mathura. First they thought that their beloved Krishna had returned. But someone informed that it was Uddhava, Krishna's servant friend, who had come to preach them about metaphysical knowledge. Soon afterwards, Uddhava came out and spoke out loud, "O gopis, listen to the preaching of Uddhava." But instead of listening to him, gopis covered their ears. Feeling insulted, Uddhava expressed his dissatisfaction over their behavior. Gopis said to him, "O gentleman, firstly we are not familiar with you, secondly we have no capacity to hear your preaching. Yes, if you wish to give us the message of our most beloved, thousands of ears are eager to hear that." Uddhava then introduced himself as the intimate friend of Lord Krishna. Knowing his identity, gopis welcomed and treated Uddhava warmly. Uddhava then began to say again, O gopis, the person whom you are declaring as your beloved friend, in fact recognizes no mother, no father and no other relation. He has no form, no color and no body. He is above all, non-existing, all-pervasive and the giver of joy. He is never separate from his devotee and beloved ones. All of you, too, feel the presence of that supreme being and be happy forever. Gopis said, Uddhava, as long as Ganashyam stayed with us, we saw endless virtues in him. But only within 6 months of his stay in Mathura, you wiped out all of his virtues and turned him virtueless. Tell us, with which mouth did he eat butter? With which hand did he break our pitchers? With which feet did he pasture cows in the forests, and with which feet did he dance on the hood of Kaliya? Was he another Krishna? Harsh reaction of the gopis startled Uddhava. He began to think where he had been caught. His knowledge of Vedanta was proving ineffective on the gopis who were sunk in so much love. On the other hand, gopis too were feeling embarrassed for treating the guest bitterly. But they were also not prepared to listen to such preaching that condemned love. Moreover, they had let out their long accumulating feeling. Meanwhile, a bumblebee perched at Radha's feet, mistaking them for lotus. Pointing to it, all the gopis said, "Beware, O bumblebee, beware if you dare to touch the feet of our Radha. It appears that you are a disciple of Krishna. There is now no secret regarding the virtues and actions of your friend. But it is good that he and you died in friendship. You are black and your friend has a black heart. Virtues of both of you are same. First he imbibed us in his love, then left us ruthlessly forever. He is not sorry for us. But why does Lakshmi serve in those feet? She must be careful, lest she should be deceived like us. O bumblebee, you also appear to be a polymath who has come here to preach us. But you won't get an audience in Braj. You should better go to Mathura. There is one Kubja, go and relate your tale to her. You will receive ample donations from her. What will you get from the gopis here? They have already lost their mental balance, because of separation from the beloved Krishna. If you have come to ask, why we loved Krishna, O bumblebee, we have no knowledge. But we know that our love for Krishna was not a mistake. Even the goddess Lakshmi does not leave his feet for a moment. Why should we leave his feet then? But O bumblebee, have you really come to convince us? When he could not come out of shame, he sent you to console us, the deaf and dumb gopis. But be careful if you put your head at the feet of Radha. Get away, we have already seen enough of flattery and flirtation of your friend. Deserting our affection for ephemeral things, we loved that eternal one. But he too abandoned us. Can you guess about our condition? Tell us, O Uddhava, shall we ever get the sight of Sri Krishna again? Hearing the tragic tale of the gopis, Uddhava too felt very sorry for them. He felt as if Mathunath, Lord Krishna, was indeed neglecting those gopis. Uddhava stayed in Vrindavana for 6 months. There he saw every place, every spot where Lord Krishna had played once. When he was returning to Mathura, Mother Yashoda presented him with butter. Radha gave him the flute. Thus immersed in the love and overwhelmed by its feelings, Uddhava reached Mathura. He said to Krishna, Lord, the real appearance of love that I saw in Vrindavana is the only truth. Shri Krishna said, Uddhava, you are weeping. Just look at me. Uddhava looked at him with wide, opened eyes. In every single hair of Lord, there existed gopis. Uddhava was indeed a servant. But Lord had sent him to Braj only to be taught a lesson of love. After the death of Kansa, his widowed queens Asti and Prapti returned to their father Jasandra's home and informed him that Krishna and Balram had killed their husband Kansa. Infuriated by the news, Jasandra at once launched a massive attack on Mathura. The people of Mathura were frightened by the strength of Jasandra's army. Lord Krishna too fell in deep thought. Just then, divine weapons and chariots appeared from the heaven. Both the brothers took the weapons and boarded their chariots. Then they fought a fierce battle and slayed all the army of Jasandra. Balram furiously caught Jasandra and was about to kill him. But Lord Krishna stopped him. They then released Jasandra and let him go unhurt. Jasandra felt ashamed that Krishna released him because of his helpless condition. Parashar says, despite his shameful defeat, Jasandra attacked Mathura 17 times with huge armies. But every time, the Lord defeated him and released him in kindness. And every time Jasandra felt more humiliated. At last, instead of attacking Mathura himself, Jasandra sent Kalyavan to defeat Sri Krishna. Kalyavan launched an attack on Mathura with 1 crore strong Malach army. This time Lord Krishna decided to vacate Mathura instead of countering the attack. He got Dwarkapuri constructed by Vishwakarma and settled all the people of Mathura there. Then, unarmed, Lord Krishna walked past Kalyavan. Pointed by Narada, Kalyavan at once recognized Krishna and gave him a chase. He also challenged him, but the Lord did not listen to his challenges and kept moving with face turned away. Kalyavan chased him for long, but could not catch up. Ultimately Lord Krishna entered a cave. Kalyavan too followed him into the cave. In the cave Lord Krishna saw that someone was sleeping there. So he covered the man with his yellow length of cloth and himself hid inside the cave. Kalyavan too arrived there and saw the sleeping man. He mistook him for Krishna and said, Krishna, you might have thought that braves do not attack on sleeping people. So I will first wake you up and then kill you. Saying thus Kalyavan kicked the sleeping man hard. However, as soon as the man awakened and glanced at Kalyavan, Kalyavan got incinerated at once. Tale of Makund Maitreya asked, Gurudev, who was that sleeping man? Parashar says, O king, that sleeping man was Makund, the son of the king Manvantara. The gods had sought his assistance in their war against the demon during the Satya Yuga. With Makund's help, the gods had defeated the demons and thus pleased had asked him to seek a boon. Makund then had sought a boon of seeing God in tangible form. The gods had assured him that he would have a sight of God in Dwapar Yuga. Since Dwapar Yuga was still far away, so Makund had asked, what should I do till then? The gods asked him to sleep somewhere and blessed him with a boon that whoever waked him up would be incinerated at once, by his glance. Thus, in order to get Kalyavan incinerated and show Makund with his divine form, Lord had gone to that spot where Makund was sleeping. Makund got the sight of God in Chaturbhuj form, and sought a boon of continuous devotion for 3 births. Thus, Lord defeated Malach's army and captured all their wealth. He also defeated Jasandra and caused great joy for the people of Dwarka. The king of Anat, Ravat, got his daughter Revati married to Balram with the blessing of Brahma. Message of Rukmani for Lord Krishna. Parashar says, Vismak was the king of Vidarbha. He had 5 sons and a daughter Rukmani. Rukmai, the eldest son of Vismak, had fixed his sister's engagement with Shishupal, the prince of Chedi. Narada did not like this development. He went to Kundanpur, the capital of Vidarbha, and said in the court of Vismak, O king, I am coming from Dwarka. Vismak said, O great sage, I have never heard about any city named Dwarka. Thus, in the court of Bhismak, Narada narrated about the life of Lord Krishna and the grandeur of Dwarka. Bhismak heard the tale with full attention. His daughter Rukmani too enjoyed the tale. But Rukmi had a strong opposition against Lord Krishna. Ignoring the wish of his father, he was not ready to get his sister married to Lord Krishna. On the appointed day, Shishupal appeared there, in a procession, to get married with Rukmani. But Rukmani was determined to marry Lord Krishna. She sent a love letter to Krishna through a loyal Brahman and declared a fast unto death. Lord Krishna read her letter, which said, O Trilokinath, since the moment these ears have heard about your virtues, actions, character and place, my soul experiences divine peace. O Achyut, my mind is dedicated in your feet. O great among the men, this Rukmani has dedicated herself in your feet. Now it is up to you to see that no jackal could take away the lion's share. The Brahman, the carrier of the letter, returned to Kundanpur with an assurance from Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna too called the charioteer and set out at once for Kundanpur. There in Kundanpur, Rukmani, after getting the assurance from the Brahman, was thus waiting for Lord Krishna's arrival. Preparations for Rukmani's marriage with Shishupal were on with full swing in Kundanpur. All the houses, streets and lanes were cleaned and sprinkled with scented water. All the men and women folk donned new clothes and ornaments. King Bhismak worshipped his ancestors and gods and welcomed the Brahmins liberally. Extremely beautiful Princess Rukmani was given ceremonial bath and donned with auspicious clothes and bracelets. The king of Chedi, Damghosh, got the auspicious rites for the marriage of his son Shishupal, performed by Brahmins. All the Bharatis, people in marriage procession, were given grand reception. Many great kings like Shalv, Jasant, Dantavaktra, Vidurath and Poundrak were present in the marriage procession. They had come with their armies with an intention of fighting Krishna and Balram. After Krishna's departure, Balram too set out for Kundanpur with Chaturangini, with 4 wings, army, for he had known about their opponents' preparedness. Rukmani was eagerly awaiting Lord Krishna's arrival. She had received the news that Dwarkanath, Krishna, had resolved to take her away. She was feeling overwhelmed in her heart. Seeing Lord Krishna arrive intently in the marriage ceremonies of his daughter, King Bhismak welcomed him. Seeing him, even the common people of Vidarbha prayed, "May our Princess Rukmani get Sri Krishna as her husband." At the same time, Rukmani emerged from her palace to go to the temple of Ambik Devi. Soldiers were guarding her. In the temple, Rukmani prayed peacefully, "O Mother Ambika, I greet you and Ganpati, who is sitting in your lap. I seek your blessing that may my wish be fulfilled and may I receive Sri Krishna as my husband." On her way back, Rukmani was walking very slowly, for she was awaiting Lord's arrival, which was due in any moment. Just then, Lord Krishna appeared before her. Before she could ride her chariot, Lord lifted her from amidst the crowd. And in the presence of hundreds of kings, Krishna and Balram eloped away with Rukmani. Krishna defeats Rukmi and marries Rukmani. Hearing the news that Krishna has eloped with Rukmani, Rukmi and all other kings present there boiled with anger. Accompanied by their huge armies, they decided to give them a chase. Thus chased by them, Yajnavanishis stopped and encountered the kings boldly. With a true ambition to win, brave Yadav soldiers defeated the enemies. All the kings like Jasant fled for their lives. Rukmi had resolved that without getting Rukmani released from Krishna's captivity, he would not show his face in Kundanpur. He chased Lord Krishna for long. But Dwarkanath defeated him and got his head shaved. Thus defeating all the kings, Lord Krishna brought Rukmani to Dwarka. There they got married formally. All the people of Dwarka celebrated festivities for many days. People presented them with lot of precious gifts. All the people were in great joy to see Lakshmi as Rukmani with her husband Lord Krishna. Birth of Pradyumna, killing of Shabarasur Kamdev was a part of Lord himself. After getting incinerated by Rudra, Kamdev took refuge in the Supreme Lord to get an incarnation once more. Thus, Kamdev was born as Rukmani's first son Pradyumna. But just after his birth, Pradyumna was kidnapped by a demon Shambasur. The demon dropped the baby into the sea, where a huge fish swallowed him in whole. Coincidentally, the fish was caught by the fishers and presented to the kitchen of Shambasur. When the cooks cut the fish open, an extremely beautiful baby emerged. Mayavati, the governess of the kitchen, felt overjoyed to see the baby. She began to rear the baby with love and affection. Once Narada arrived in the kitchen and said, "Mayavati, do you know who is in your lap?" "No, O Devarshi, I found him from the belly of a fish," said Mayavati. Devarshi Narada said, "He is your husband Kamdev and you are his wife Rati. In this birth, he has appeared as Pradyumna, the son of Krishna." Hearing this, Mayavati saluted Narada with respect. Since then she regarded Pradyumna as her husband and served him accordingly. When Pradyumna matured, Mayavati reminded him about his real appearance. Pradyumna, thereafter, killed Shambasur and got married with Mayavati. Then the couple arrived in Dwarka. Tale of Syamantak the gem and its theft. A person named Satyajit was a great devotee of Lord Suryanarayana. Pleased by his devotion, Suryadev presented him a gem called Syamantak. The gem had radiance equal to the sun. Bearing that gem, Satyajit arrived in Lord's court. By the radiance of his gem, all the people and the courtiers mistook him for Suryadev and stood in his regard. But the Lord recognized him and asked his courtiers to be calm. Then to Satyajit, Lord said, "Satyajit, your gem is really very beautiful. Nana, maternal grandfather, Ugrasen is the king of this region. If you present this gem to him, it will be very good." But Satyajit refused to present that gem. One day, later on, Satyajit's brother Prasenjit went hunting, wearing the gem in his neck. In the forest a lion killed him and snatched the gem. The lion was in turn killed by the bear king Jamvant. Jamvant took the gem to his cave and gave it to his children to play with. When Prasenjit did not return from hunting, Satyajit felt sorry and accused Krishna that he had killed his brother for the gem. When Lord Krishna heard that he was being blamed for the mishap, he himself went to the forests. There he found the dead body of Prasenjit, but there was no sign of gem around the cadaver. He found only footprints of a lion leaving from there. Following the footprints, he discovered the dead lion and the footprints of a great bear. Following the footprints, he reached in the cave where Jamvant's daughter Jamvati was playing with the gem. As soon as Lord Krishna proceeded to take the gem, Jamvant arrived. A fierce duel resulted between them. They continued to fight for 26 days without truce. On the 27th day Jamvant requested Lord, "Please wait, O Lord." Lord said, "Do you want to take rest?" "No," said Jamvant, "I have recognized you. You are none other than Lord Narayana himself. Nobody else has the power to defeat me." Lord appeared before Jamvant as Sri Rama. Jamvant prayed and worshipped him. He was feeling guilty that he dared to fight Lord. Lord said that he had arrived there for the gem only. Jambavant gave him the gem and also his daughter Jambavati. Lord Krishna returned the gem to Satyajit and married Jambavati formally. Krishna's other marriages. 1. Lord Krishna summoned Satyajit to his court and in the presence of the king Ugrasen, related the sequence of incidents that took place in the jungle. Satyajit felt ashamed. With a feeling of repentance he took the gem. He was getting afraid also that he made enmity with Lord Krishna without reason. Hence, to expiate his crime, Satyajit thought of presenting the gem Syamantak and his daughter Satyabhama to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna accepted Satyabhama as his wife but returned the gem to Satyajit saying, "It is a gift of Lord Suryadev. Keep it with you. You are required to deposit the gold that you get from it in the royal treasure." Akrura and Kritvarma were not pleased with the marriage of Satyabhama. So they got Satyajit killed by Shatdhanva. Shatdhanva killed Satyajit in his sleep and absconded with the gem. Lord Krishna was then away in Hastinapur. Satyabhama too reached there and informed Krishna about her father's assassination. With Balram, Lord Krishna chased Shatdhanva. But even after killing him, they could not trace the gem. Shatdhanva had given the gem to Akrura to keep till his return. But after the death of Shatdhanva, frightened Akrura came to stay in Kashi. From the effect of the gem Akrura performed many grand yagas there. Lord Krishna summoned Akrura from Kashi. After welcoming and treating him in the court, Lord Krishna asked him about the gem. Akrura showed the gem in the court. But Lord returned the gem to Akrura. 2. Once Lord Krishna visited Indraprasth to see Pandavas. There riding a chariot with Arjuna, he came to the forests. On the bank of river Yamuna a pretty woman was observing penance. By the instinct of God, Arjuna drew near her and asked for her identity. She said, "I am Kalindi, the daughter of Suryadev. I am penancing here in order to get married with Lord Krishna." Lord Krishna got Kalindi boarded on the chariot and got married to her formally. 3. Mitvinda was the sister of Anuvind, the king of Ujjain. She had a desire to get Lord Krishna as her husband. But her brother, Anuvind, was a follower of Duryodhan. So he stopped his sister Mitvinda from getting married to Krishna. But Krishna eloped with Mitvinda from the court and got married to her formally later on. 4. Satya was the daughter of Naginjit, the king of Kaushal. She was extremely beautiful lady. The king had resolved that he would marry his daughter only to him who would defeat his 7 most formidable oxen. Many princes has tried their luck since then but failed. When Lord Krishna heard about that, he reached Kaushal with his army. The king of Kaushal welcomed and treated him well, and told him about his resolution. Lord Krishna then took 7 guises and in no time defeated his 7 formidable oxen. Gladly the king married his daughter Satya to Lord Krishna. 5. Parashar says, Parikshit, Lord Krishna's aunt, father's sister, Shrukirti was married in the kingdom of Kaikoja. Bhadra was the daughter of Shrukirti. Bhadra's brothers like Santhadan etc. themselves had got their sister married to Lord Krishna. 6. Lakshmana was the daughter of the king of Madra. She was very beautiful and meritorious. Lord Krishna abducted her all alone from the Swayamvara organized for her marriage. Later, Lord Krishna married to her formally. 7. After slaying Bhaumasur, Lord Krishna entered his palace. There he released the 16,100 captive princesses. The princesses were very much impressed by Lord Krishna. They had all accepted in their mind Lord Krishna as their husband. Lord Krishna too bowed before their love and accepted them as his wives and arranged to send them to Dwarka. Salvation of Bhaumasur. Pragjotishpur was the capital of the demon Bhaumasur. He was very strong and powerful. He had snatched the canopy of Varuna, earrings of Aditi the mother of the gods, and Manipavat of the gods on Meru. Apart from these, he had also captured 16,100 princesses as well. Devraj Indra himself visited Dwarka and prayed Lord Krishna to get them rid of Bhaumasur's atrocities. With the dear wife Satyabhama and riding his vehicle Garuda, Lord Krishna arrived in the capital of Bhaumasur. But to enter Pragjotishpur was an impossible task. But with the blows of his make and arrows, Lord Krishna easily broke the hills, destroyed strategic positions and cut the snares with sword. By his wheel he destroyed the walls of fire, water and air. With the loud sound of conch, Lord Krishna rendered the machines, installed there, useless. Ultimately, Krishna destroyed the rampart of the citadel. Disturbed by the noise, the five-headed demon Mur ran with a trident to kill Krishna. But with a single shot of his arrow, Lord Krishna broke his trident and cut his head with his wheel. Soldiers and commanders of Bhaumasur were also killed. Bhaumasur then came himself to fight. He had donned a shining crown and was wearing big earrings. With his wheel, Lord Krishna cut the demon's head. As soon as he beheaded the demon, the gods showered flowers on Lord Krishna and worshipped him. Even the Mother Earth came and put a garland of 5 colors around Lord's neck. She also presented to him the earrings of Aditi, canopy of Varuna, and a great gem. At the request of Earth, Lord Krishna assured Bhaumasur's son Bhagdat freedom from his fears. Pradyumna's marriage with Rukwati. Rukwati was the daughter of Rukmi, the brother of Rukmani. When a Swayamvara was organized for her, she saw Pradyumna. She was so impressed by him that she chose him as her husband. But it was not acceptable to other princes. They tried to stop their marriage. But defeating them all, Pradyumna abducted Rukwati and married her formally. Then to please his sister Rukmani, Rukmi got his granddaughter Rochna married to Rukmani's grandsons Anirudh. Marriage of Usha. Anirudh, the son of the demon king Bali, Banasur was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Banasur ruled over the kingdom Shonitpur. By the grace of Lord Shiva, he had received 1,000 arms. Even all the gods including Indra used to serve him. Thus blinded by his physical strength, Banasur sought a boon from Lord to meet a match for his strength. Lord Shiva said, "O fool, your thirst for war shall be quenched when your flag is broken." Banasur had a daughter named Usha. Once she had a dream in which Anirudh was making love with her. She was very much perplexed by the dream. After a few days, with the help of her friend Chitralekha, Anirudh sneaked into her palace. He stayed there and enjoyed the company of Usha for long. But Anirudh's clandestine stay could not remain hidden from the eyes of Banasura. So he put Anirudh in prison. There in Dwarka, everyone was worried by Anirudh's long absence. It was Narada who ultimately revealed the fact that Anirudh was in the prison of Banasur. Hearing the news, Lord Krishna launched an attack on Banasur. His armies surrounded Shonitpur. During Gurbandi, the flag of Banasur's palace fell. Lord Shankar arrived to assist Banasur. Lord Krishna cut all the arms of Banasur. At the request of Shiva, he left only 4 of his arms intact. Banasur bowed his head before Lord Krishna and brought Anirudh and Usha respectfully before him. With them Lord Krishna returned to Dwarka, where formal marriage of Usha and Anirudh took place. Tale of the King Nrig. Once, Lord Krishna's sons visited the forests. There they saw a huge chameleon fallen in a large, deep well. They tried to pull it out, but in vain. The princess, therefore, returned to the palace and related this strange episode to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna too came to the well and with his left hand, easily pulled the chameleon out. As soon as the chameleon came out, it turned into a divine god and began to worship Krishna. He said, "O Lord Krishna, I am Nrig. The king Ikshvaku was my father. In my life, I had donated uncountable numbers of cows to the Brahmins. But once a cow, donated by me, returned to my cowshed. By mistake I made a resolution to donate it to another Brahman. My action led to a dispute between the two Brahmins, and my wisdom failed to settle their dispute. Both the Brahmins went away unsatisfied, but I met this fate after death. Since then, I had been in this well in the form of a chameleon. Now, by the graceful touch of your hands, O Lord, I have received salvation." King Nrig then went around Lord Krishna and returned to his heavenly abode. Salvation of Poundrak. Once Balram and Krishna had gone to Braj to see Nand Baba there. Meanwhile the king Poundrak of Karush sent an envoy to Lord Krishna with a message that said, "I am Lord Vasudev." Pandarak's envoy arrived in the court and read out the message, "To bestow my grace on the people, I have taken an incarnation. You have falsely named yourself as Vasudev and borne my insignia. Take my refuge or face the battle." Hearing the message of Poundrak, Ugrasen and other courtiers began to laugh. Lord Krishna asked the envoy to inform Poundrak that he would launch his wheel on him and his army. Receiving the message, Poundrak launched an attack on Dwarka with 2 Akshohini armies. The king of Kashi was a friend of Poundrak. He too came to his assistance with 3 Akshohini armies. Poundrak had disguised as Vasudev and was bearing artificial conch, wheel, make and lotus end. He had also adorned swastika, kaustubh, etc. All the people began to laugh at Poundrak's clown-like attire. In no time, Lord Krishna stripped him of all his adornments. His wheel cut his head. Then with an arrow Lord Krishna cut the head of the king of Kashi. His head fell in front of his palace's gate. Sudakshan, the son of the Kashi king, organized a grand yagya to avenge his father's killing. An ogress, Kritya, emerged from the yagya and began to burn Dwarka. All the people prayed Krishna to protect them. Lord Krishna assured them to be fearless and ordered his wheel Sudarshan to kill Kritya. Sudarshan extinguished the fire, killed Kritya and destroyed Kashi. Then it returned to Lord Krishna's finger. Salvation of Dvivid. There was once a monkey named Dvivid. He was the friend of Goemasur. When Dvivid heard about Goemasur's killing by Sri Krishna, he began to cause large-scale destruction in the kingdom. His disruptive activities in the country began to terrorize the subjects of Lord Krishna. Once hearing sweet music, the monkey was drawn towards the Revatak mountain. There he saw Balram amidst beautiful young women. The monkey began to behave indecently. Angered by his indecency, Balram hit him with his pestle, named Sunan, and killed the monkey. Marriage of Samp was the son of Lord Krishna and born to Jambavati. He had kidnapped Lakshmana, the daughter of Duryodhan, from her Swayamvara. Infuriated Kauravas chased them and, with difficulty, they caught Samp and tied him. When the Yaduvanshis got the news, they began preparations to launch an attack on Kauravas. Balram pacified them and reached Hastinapur alone. There he received a warm welcome from the Kauravas. Balram said to them, "It is an order of the king Ugrasen that you should see Samp off with his newly wedded wife." Hearing Balram's words, Kauravas got angry and began to deride Yaduvanshis. Infuriated by Kauravas' derision, Balram trained his pestle and plough. He intended to turn over the town of Hastinapur into the river Yamuna. When the city began to shake, Kauravas felt perplexed and begged Balram for his pardon. Balram assured them to be fearless and returned to Dwarka with Samp and his newly wedded wife Lakshmana. Kings in captivity seek Krishna's help to kill Jasant. Once Lord Krishna was holding his court when an emissary arrived in the court. The kings who were held captive forcibly by Jasant had sent him. The emissary related the miseries of those kings to Lord Krishna. Through the emissary, the kings had requested, "O Lord of the world, kindly get us free from our miseries. We are in your refuge. We desire your sight. Kindly bestow us with your grace." Lord Krishna sent the emissary off with assurance of timely action. Meanwhile, Devarshi Narada arrived in the court and informed the Lord of Yudhishthira's intention to organize a grand Rajyasoya Yagya and his cordial invitation for the Lord to attend the ceremony. Lord asked his friend Uddhava for an advice as to where he ought to go first, to Indraprastha in Rajyasoya Yagya or to liberate the king from the captivity of Jasant. Uddhava advised Lord to go to Indraprastha first. There he would be able to serve both the purposes. Uddhava's advice was in the interest of all. Everyone supported it. Taking permission from his priest and teachers, Lord Krishna set out on a chariot with the whole family to reach Indraprastha. In Indraprastha, Pandavas accorded Lord Krishna with warm-hearted felicitations. By the dictate of Lord Krishna, Mysore built a divine-looking court for Yudhishthira. The courtroom was a marvelous piece of architecture. The shining, smooth floor of it appeared like water, while water bodies presented a look like marble floors. During Yudhishthira's Rajyasoya Yagya, all the Pandavas set out in all the directions to conquer the kings and expand the boundaries of their kingdom. Warriors like Bhima, Arjuna defeated great kings all around and extended the boundaries of Yudhishthira's empire. But to defeat Jasant, Bhima, Arjuna and Lord Krishna went in the guise Brahmans. They reached Jasant's capital Girivraj and prayed him for donations. Jasant promised to give them the things of their desires. Lord Krishna then introduced them and begged Jasant for a duel with any of them. Jasant accepted to fight a duel with Bhima. He gave Bhima a make and both of them came out to the outskirts of the town, where they began their duel. Both of them were equally strong and equally brave and well-pitted. 27 days passed, but their duel remained inconclusive. On the 28th day, during the fight, Lord Krishna signaled Bhima a way to kill Jasant. He took a small twig in his hands and tore it apart into two. Bhima understood the signal and beating Jasant on ground, he tore him apart in two pieces and threw them in opposite directions. Thus came the end of evil Jasant. Lord Krishna and Arjuna heartily greeted Bhima for his success. They then enthroned Jasanta's son Sahdev and also got the captive kings released. Salvation of Shishupal. King Yudhishthira had invited great Vedic Brahmins and Acharyas on the occasion. Persons from Kauravas' side like Drona, Bhisma, Kripacharya, Dhritarashtra, Vidura and Duryodhana etc. were too invited to witness the celebrations. Even Brahma, Shiv, Indra, Gandharvas, Vidyadhar had too arrived. But before the yagya could start, a dispute cropped up among the great sages as to who ought to be worshipped first in the yagya. In the opinion of Sahdev, youngest of the Pandav brothers, not the son of Jasant, Lord Krishna deserved the first worship. Everyone supported him. Only Shishupal could not tolerate the decision. He stood up and said, "In the presence of such great ascetics, savants, polymaths and sages, How can this cowherd deserve the first worship? Despite Shishupal's bitter remarks, Lord Krishna kept quiet. But Shishupal did not. Encouraged by Lord Krishna's silence, he began to attack the kings, who stood by Lord Krishna's side, with sword. He was simultaneously abusing Lord Krishna also. Lord Krishna had assured Shishupal of this forgiveness for up to 100 sins. But now Shishupal's sins have crossed that permitted number. So, quieting all, Lord Krishna cut his head with his wheel. As soon as the dead body of Shishupal fell on the ground, a flame emerged from it and merged with Lord Krishna. Shukdev says, "O Parikshit, feelings of hostility had been accumulating in the heart of Shishupal for his past 3 births against Lord Krishna. It was because of these intense hostile feelings that Shishupal met salvation eventually. After the salvation of Shishupal, ceremonies and rituals of yajna proceeded unabated. At the end, King Yudhishthira presented all those present there with fitting gifts and took ceremonial bath. At the request of Pandavas, Lord Krishna stayed in Indraprastha for many months." Salvation of Shalv. Shukdev says, "Parikshit, now listen to the tale of how Lord Krishna caused salvation for Shalv. Shalv was the childhood friend of Shishupal and had attended the marriage of Rukmani as a member of Shishupal's wedding party. At that time, Yaduvanshis had defeated them all, including Jasant and Shalv. Right at that moment, Shalv had resolved to destroy Yaduvanshis and began worshipping gods of the gods Pashupti, Shiv. Lord Ashutosh Shiva was pleased with him. As a boon, Shalv had got an aeroplane that was invincible even for the gods, demons, humans, nagas, etc., and was particularly formidable for Yaduvanshis. By the dictate of Lord Shiva, the demon Maya constructed such an aeroplane of iron. The aeroplane named Sub was as big as a city and was difficult to be spotted or caught. It could move as fast as one's wishes. Soon after getting the aeroplane, Shalv launched an attack of Dwarka. Surrounding Dwarka, Shalv began to destroy buildings and houses there. Seeing the people terrorized, Pradyumna consoled them to be fearless and he set out on a chariot to counter Shalv. He pierced Shalv with arrows. But Shalva's minister the Yumana attacked Pradyumna with a make. By the blow of the make, Pradyumna lost his consciousness. But soon he came around and began to slay Shalv's forces. The fierce battle continued for 27 days. Lord Krishna was away then in Indraprastha Yajna. But he was sure that in his absence Kshatriya kings of Shishupal's side would be attacking on Dwarka. Lord Krishna reached Dwarka and saw a fierce battle between Pradyumna and Shalv. Seeing Lord Krishna arrive, Shalv began to attack him with sharp arrows. Lord Krishna hit Shalv with a powerful blow of make and he began to spit blood from his mouth. He then tried to show many illusions and showered Lord Krishna with weapons. But Lord Krishna wounded Shalv with his arrows, broke his aeroplane with his make. Very soon thereafter the aeroplane plunged into the sea. Shalv then attacked Lord Krishna with make, but Lord Krishna cut his head with Sudarshan wheel. Seeing his end, all the gods showered flowers on Krishna. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.